lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare thumb war. Oh. Oh, what fun. Oh, what a relief it is.
Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the got car starts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
From Lakeland, Florida at USA International Speedway, the Goat Locker Glove Station ARCA Series is ready to rock and roll right here on Sim Racing Media. Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as we're ready to get rocking and rolling right here at our first 1 mile track in this, or at least this 1 mile track here for the first time in the Goat Locker ARCA Series. Last week, Mark Whitley did it again, earning his second consecutive GLR debut, this time in the ARCA Series. Eddie Smith captured the Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award and stayed up front all night long to bring home second, while Santa also returned to the Poconos as Logan Santa Throckel marched through the field to a third place starting. In the AM Division, it was Devin Smith who captured a top 10 finish along with the AM Division win, while four other AM drivers battled it out for the podium. But in the end, it was Skylar Daly and Alan Smith on the steps. I'm Dave Regal alongside my partner in crime, Mr. Jordan Brockell, as I am back in the saddle. And as everybody can tell, it's a little rumble, stumble, fumble to get out of the gate, but we're ready to bring you all the action. From the green flag to the checkered flag right here on Sim Racing Media, and I cannot tell you how much I missed you over these last few races as we get ready to roll and qualifying is underway.
Yeah, I'm I had to take the glasses off and kind of clear them off as I was making them a little bit, trying to kind of control my tears. I missed you so much, and it's glad to have you back. Had some great racing at Watkins Glen last night in the Truck Series. Mark Whitley got another win, so 3 consecutive wins along the SRM platform here. So certainly looking forward to seeing what everyone's got tonight.
Yeah, as we get ready to roll, let's take a peek at that beautiful bean footage, of course, here as we switch on over to our winner last week. First thing we want to do, of course, is talk about our pro winner. Here he is. And there we go. All of a sudden, everything wants to move real slow, real fast. The Pro Division winner, of course, was Michael Whitley. He dominated Pocono for his first win. Eddie Smith and Logan Threlkeld. Threlkeld.
I don't even know how to say it. I just know him as Santa.
That's fine for me, as of course we see that back there at Pocono. And you know what? Quite frankly, I love watching these guys at Pocono. These cars are incredible, no matter where they are. But of course, here we are in my first race with the new ARCA car, if you will, and we see here that of course, Smith finished 9th last week to get the AM winner for that week. Skylar Daly and Alan Smith picked up their podium finishes here in the AM series, and what that does really is it also starts to translate a little bit back to our points. Now, Eddie Smith on the pro side winds up with 2 wins, then Chris Morse has 4 and 1 for Andy Kurtz. The number that we're going to have to start watching, especially as we get here in the regular season finale, is Dan Cunningham is 33 points below the cut line. Jake Ellingson is 33 points above it. Sean McCarthy, he sits 19 points above the cut line, while Josh Unger is 19 below. So these things are going to start to matter, as we look to see if we can lock in those playoff drivers as we head to that portion of our season. And, quite frankly, as we see most of these guys finishing things up right now, Mark Whitley sitting atop the pile, these guys really have a lot to fight for tonight as, we turn our focus here to the Sunshine State. Of course, I wasn't in Lakeland over the last couple of races here, but I was as close as you can get. Of course, that's the spring training home of the Detroit Tigers. And you know what? I saw a lot of Tigers fans in the stands yesterday at Clearwater, and I was quite frankly shocked to see the type of fans that Detroit brought on down here. So let's see if those fans maybe scurried on back to Lakeland for this race here tonight in the Glove Station ARCA Series, part of the Goat Locker Racing family of racing series, as it looks like just about everybody done. And I think that means that we can award that pole award, at least for the time being, to Mark Whitley. And, you know, I mean, all things considered, I feel like Whitley is going to become a consistent front runner.
Oh, absolutely. I think right now for everybody in this series, and as well as the truck series, I feel like they're all being put on notice right. You know, they need to either step their game up or win a championship this year. Because I think Mark Whitley is going to be all over that next season, depending on you know, what series he runs. Because I mean, he's been absolutely dominant, and you know, he hasn't really had a too tough of a challenge. I mean, he's just been that out of nowhere. And I mean, I don't know if maybe that's some fatigue from some of these guys that have been running this full season, or if, you know, Whitley just has found that little bit of something more. But I have zero doubt that, you know, Eddie Smith, Chris Morris, you know, even Daniel Cunningham, who had a great finish at Watkins Glen, you know, I do not have any doubt that these guys can get up there and run with him. I just think Mark Whitley has found that slight bit of something more that everybody else needs to just fine-tune and find as well.
Without a doubt, as we get ready to rock and roll, Mark Whitley, he's going to be awarded the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. Out of Plainfield, Indiana, we are local and we are veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company, and they, of course, sponsor our pole award across all of our series here in the GLR family. And let's take a look right now at our starting lineup. And of course, as we just mentioned, Mark Whitley, he's going to be our pole sitter alongside of Eddie Smith. Daniel Cunningham and Gavin Schilling are going to be in row number 2, while Jeremiah Holt and Jake Ellingson hold things down in row number 3. Row 4 going to feature Mark Cofield and Chris Morse, while Jamie Libke and Cliff Adams round out your starting top 10. Now, I had a chance to talk with Jamie before the race, and interestingly enough, there's some interesting throttle decisions that are going to have to be made tonight. As we take a look here at row number 6, Devin Smith and Jonah Colbert, they're going to be holding things down starting on the inside and outside there in 11th and 12th. James Goshen and Ryzen Baker, they'll be in row 7, while Brandon Wallace and Alan Smith will be in row number 8. Row 9 features Timothy Wilmus and Robert Kubat, while Josh Unger and Chuck Feltz are going to be in row number 10. Brett Bieber out of Ole, Pennsylvania, and KC Jones are going to be starting in 21st and 22nd, while Dakota Cole and John Huchin, of course our Warrior Spotlight driver, are going to be in row number 12. Row 13 going to feature William Gregory and Delsa Aviles, while Noah Hogard and Daniel Craykiel are going to be in 27th and 28th, with Doug Macedo, is going to be starting shotgun on the field. It looks like Macedo is going to start shotgun on the field. Cofield is going to be down in the pits. We, of course, have a few penalties to announce from last week, as those penalties are going to be carried over. You'll notice Mike McCarthy is actually not in the field tonight. Skylar Taylor is going to start from the pits. Mark Cofield will be starting from the pits, and Dan Craykiel will be taking the EOL after their violations. The iRacing.com pace car brings us down the backstretch and into turn 3 as the 74 Mark Whitley warms those tires up one more time. Gavin Schilling with a connection issue here. Folks, you're going to have to forgive the paint schemes tonight. We were just informed before going on the air to trading paints that the software we use is offline, and that's across all of iRacing, as the iRacing.com pace car brings us down the front stretch. As we get ready to go green flag racing, 100 laps the scheduled distance tonight, 60% fuel. Going to be one fast repair with 4 total sets of tires. So we're going to see some interesting pit strategies here in the ARCA series tonight, as the iRacing.com pace car leads us down the backstretch once again. Can't wait to see how some of this goes as we can look on here from the grandstand, as the pace car leads Mark Whitley and Eddie Smith into turn number 3. And as the pace car peels off, that means there's only one thing left to do. It's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's showtime! Green flag in the air, and off we go from USA International in Lakeland, Florida.
Yeah, you see Eddie Smith and Mark Whitley side by side going into the first turn there, fighting for that position. And I think if Whitley can get clear, he's going to put himself out front. And, oh, we got trouble already in the back.
Wow, that was rough for Devin Smith. Now let's watch Smith here in the 24. Smith starts to bang off of a couple different cars. They go 3 wide. Smith can't corral it back in, and just before the start-finish line, spins to a grinding halt. The 69 catches him, and then the 83 of Dan Craigkeel puts the finishing touch on that wreck. Let's see if we can maybe figure this out from the 24's perspective. Oy. Smith trying to get going sideways. Oh, maybe a little too high on the RPMs coming out of 4.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a condition of maybe cold tires here to start, getting, you know, early to the throttle and sending it loose out of corner there.
Let's see if we can get a peek here from Daniel Craigkeel's perspective. Here he goes into 3. He gets it back off. He can see the wreck. He throttles up and go. Oh! He thought he didn't even realize the 24 was there. Well, thankfully, 24 has that fast repair in his pocket. So, just since we had the time, a little while ago, we're going to go down here to Jamie Libke. Where's Jamie? I don't see Jamie. Just enough time here. This iRacing has now decided to take one big race. Let's see if we can get a hold of Jamie Libke. Remind me about that. We're going to go to Jamie Libke at our next opportune moment. Jamie and I were having a discussion before the race regarding the throttle control here, especially on restarts. We're going to go on board here with Jamie. As the pace car gets ready to peel off. Out of Phoenix, Arizona, Jamie watches the iRacing.com pace car come through. Masterful. So one of the things that Jamie was talking about in pre-race with me was throttle control and how these cars may have a tendency to try to step out from underneath you. You know, especially when, you know, as you said, the cold tire bug, you know, is lurking around. And then, of course, mix that with all of these cars bunched up the way that they are, especially on restarts as we go to our second caution. This may be Dos Aviles. Let's watch Aviles here in 57 here to the inside. Contact with the 158 of Noah Hogart, and Hoagie sends him into the inside wall. Now let's see if we can get a hold of Jamie. Jamie I didn't see Jamie involved in that wreck. Hey, Jamie, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, wanted to touch base with you and I. Now, I don't see you out here on the racetrack. What's going on with the 13?
I'm looking at my connection right now. Stuff is spiking. Gavin had the same issue. The only thing I can think of is I'm going to have to reboot my iRacing client here.
Before you do that, and before we lose you, I just wanted to have a quick chat about, you and I have been talking about, of course, throttle control. Explain to the fans what throttle control is going to mean at a place like this in these ARCA cars tonight.
Well, particularly on the restarts, if you're starting in a lower gear, it's going to add more torque to the rear end, which means the rear tires are going to want to spin a lot more. If you start in a higher gear, you'll restart a little bit slower, but you have a lower risk of spinning the rear tires and causing a wreck. Now, when you're driving through the turns, you want to modulate or feather the throttle, because you don't want to, if you've got too much gas coming through the turns, you're going to end up plowing through and going up into the wall, or on the exit, you're going to spin the tires and cause a wreck.
Masterfully shared with the fans. I couldn't do it that well. That's why I prefer. Good luck getting your connection reestablished. I know that we had some connection issues with a couple different drivers, so hopefully this isn't an iRacing-wide situation.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Jimmy, thanks for
the
your
game
time.
right now.
Get you back up there. Back to what you got.
Yep.
That the voice of Jamie Limke, driver the number 13, who's having a little bit of a problem right now getting reestablished on the iRacing.com servers. A lot of times this will happen in week or two following big updates. We go back to iRacing. There was such a big update. As soon as I got off the airplane and home today, I had to start updating iRacing. What a change here in the ARCA car. I even had to buy the new one.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard a lot of talks about how this card runs kind of like a miniature or a mini Gen 7, where it's kind of loose on entry and exit, and it's kind of a little bit unstable. But I've also heard some pretty good things about this car as well.
I mean, the first thing that I'll say is that they look fantastic. I mean, they look just like they should. As the 91 of Daniel Cunningham works to the inside here of Jake Ellison. They haul it down through turns 1 and 2 and onto the back stretches. 27 tries to maintain third position. Mark Whitman lays fast time down to 20.73 seconds. We get a good run here. As we look further back in the field, Mark Cofield is in kind of a tough place as we go under caution once again. See this is going to be Doug Macedo. The 69 of Macedo bumps into the rear of the 57 of Delso Aviles, gets himself loose and just out of control. That's the second time now for the 69 to be involved in one of these situations, so hopefully he can reel that horse back in.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's playing, right into what, Lidkey was saying, where, throttle control is super. We've seen a lot of guys kind of push it off their exit, kind of throw the rear end around, and so just kind of feathering that throttle off corner is going to be a big key here tonight.
Without a doubt, the iRacing.com race car getting more laps than we usually see from this league. I know I was looking at stats from another league that we used to run on Sim Racing Media. And they had 18 cautions at Homestead. And all I could think of was, my God. Brett Beaver here in the 808 out of Woolley, Pennsylvania. Running right now in top position. He's up 9 from where he had started. See if we can get a hold of Brett. Hey, Brett, it's Dave up the broadcast. What's that copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I don't see the other half of the Group 73 Mafia, so what's going on down there in the racetrack tonight? You've got plus 9 so far as positions go. What are you seeing from these drivers?
I'm kind of just trying to be patient. I've been lucky to get these positions so far. It's really lots of qualifying, so I'm trying to bide my time. But yeah, it's for me tonight.
Well, I was up that way a couple of weeks ago, and I got to tell you, those traffic circles that you folks have up there are just this side of irritating.
It's supposed to make you keep guessing, you know, to think that you're racing, so you just make circles.
I thought I was playing Spin the Bottle only township side on this side.
Yeah, that's about right.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, good luck. Go with God. Don't take any wooden nickels tonight.
All right, thanks.
That the voice of Brett Bieber, driver of the 808, 1.5 of the 73 Mafias. My fellow countrymen from here in Quaker State. As we go back, green flag racing, we're trying to manage this a little bit better. Let's see what happens if we do this. Folks here in the youtube.com live chat. How about we do this? Doug, I see what you're saying. Let's see if I turn this up here. How does that sound? Mark Whitley here in the 74.
Yeah, Whitley just trying to be smooth and clean here to get as much of an advantage as he can. These cautions up and kind of keeps him from being able to run out. And just as we say that fourth caution out on the track now.
We appreciate all of you keeping us honest here on the broadcast. Of course, everything kind of out of whack. My audio equipment had to go with me to Florida. So I'm trying to dial it back in. Not always the easiest when you take the show on the road, quite literally. And it's just a very thin motion. Let's see what happened here with this incident. Let's see what happened here with William Gregory. Watch Gregory in the 71. He gets a run under the 51, and there it is. I'm going to go with throttle once again as the culprit. I think Jamie was onto something.
Oh, 110%. I mean, it's a tricky thing because once you think you're right there, you're good, and then all of a sudden you get to that. It's almost like the cushion in dirt where all of a sudden you find yourself just over that cushion and find yourself sliding around.
Well, at this stage in the race, and we see this so often on the iRacing.com servers, where it seems like everybody needs to get themselves figured out. And first of all, it's a tight racetrack. It's not very long, for starters. And then to top it all off, we've got a great field tonight. 28 drivers took the green flag. Craig Keel only got about 2 laps in before he wound up in the pits. So, there's not a whole lot of available real estate out there.
No, and I mean it's tough to manage, especially. I mean, it's still a new car to these guys. It's the second race with this car, and they still just got to figure out how it runs and how to control it. And I mean, you could put in hours of practice, and you still end up coming into the race conditions that are a little bit different than your practice. And, you've got to basically learn how to drive it there. When we were on Gen 6, we ran Gen 6 cars for absolutely ever on this sim. So everyone just kind of knew how to run that car in any condition. It was a new car. So we're still trying to figure out, how to run this car and what it likes, what it needs, So it's a learning process that all of these guys are going through.
Yeah, and I mean, first of all, we can see right here as we drop into the cockpit of our race leader, Mark Whitley. You know, the first thing that you see when you hop back in here is, of course, the new digital dashboard. That's completely different, not only for us, but for the driver especially. And then we can see that headrest, as Whitley rotates his head over, is now sticking out a lot further than it used to. So as we get ready to fire off and go back to green, these drivers are making all kinds of adjustments on the fly. Whitley dives into turn number 1. Ellingson and Smith are side by side. Your highest running AM driver right now is Jeremiah Holt in the 73. The 81 now of Chris Morse Jr., he hurls it down to the inside. These guys are fighting it out like kids in the back seat of the family station wagon on vacation. We go back to Alan Smith in the 7. And Smith, as he holds his own underneath the 38 of Robert Kubat, he's going to get that spot away. He now takes 11th away from Kubat, a pair of AM drivers going at it. Of course, folks, you can see those AM drivers highlighted in red here on the left side of your screen. That way you can know who your highest running or lowest running AM driver is. I don't think that tonight we're going to see the natural win that we've been hoping for all season long, as Mark Whitley begins to step away from the field as he's now opened up an 0.8 of a second gap over Eddie Smith. They're still fighting it out behind him. Here's the 91 of Daniel Cunningham working to the inside of the double natural of Ryzen Baker.
Yeah, and you know that natural win that we've been looking for, I think, is going to take a back seat for a while everybody relearns this car. You know, we started seeing guys like Jeremiah Holt and, you know, Mark Cofield and all of those guys start to figure out the Gen 4 enough to run up, you know, right with the pros. And now, you know, you kind of seen them take a little bit of just a backtrack. Oh, big slide there by the 77 machine of Ryzen Baker.
We work here on lap number 31 of 100, now finally getting our way just about to that halfway point, about 20 laps shy. And the question becomes, does anybody decide that maybe they can take this and make this a one-stop race? I think we've got a good shot at it tonight. I mean, you know, this, of course, being the regular season finale right here on Sim Racing Media. Next week we head to Iowa for the round of 8, and the round of 8 is going to be at Iowa and Nashville, while the round of 6 is going to be Michigan and Dover, with the Championship 4 highlighted on May 5th from Texas Motor Speedway. You know, I think that that's one of the coolest things about being able to do anything on iRacing. You can customize that season to where you want it to be and when. You don't have to worry about weather. You don't have to worry about conditions. Everything is good in the sim. As we work here, Daniel Cunningham running in 6th position now, down 3 from where he had qualified in the 91 Toyota Camry. And at this point, I guess it stands to reason, at least in the car versions of our stock cars, the Camry here in the... Oh! The 98 Ooh. Just bites the wall and took a safer barrier to the face. Oy vey.
Flip Adams is... that's
not a happy camper.
Not a happy camper. Yep, you beat me to it.
Let's watch the 98 to the inside of the 73 of Jeremiah Holt. Now he starts to work his way on by. He thought he was clear and didn't, and 2 race cars, as we have seen so many times, cannot occupy the same space in the space-time continuum. Let's watch this from the 73's perspective, because he can't possibly be happy. We're going to watch this right from the cockpit. We can already see that the visibility not great here. And there's the 98 right across. You know what? Even the 73 might have thought that he was clear. He could have checked up, but he chose not to. And I don't even know if the 73 had the clearance behind, as we'll go back up to the blimp for this. And actually, we may have had the chopper cam just above the 73. He may not have been able to check up due to traffic on the track. 73, yeah, if he would have checked up, he would have been right in the grill of the 99 that took it anyway, right in the nose.
Yeah, Casey Jones coming through there getting kind of slapped around too.
Wholesale pit stops underway. Now, Mark Cofield came down on lap number 22. Dakota Cole gives up the lead that he had for just a few moments. He's going to come. Whoa! The 57. Can't do that, sir.
You can't park there.
That's Delsa Aviles. Let's see if we might be able to see what happened there. And we'll take a quick peek. I don't know if Aviles knew what was going on or if he just came out and caught somebody a little bit sideways. Let's take a look. And here it is. Watch the 57. 57. Oh, he just gave it way too much throttle getting out of his pit box. Can't do that. So for the time being, it's going to be Mark Cofield. He's going to be your highest running AM driver in the 97. He came down on lap number 22. Jonah Colbert and literally everybody else in the field down to Del Saviles, down to 24th position, came down here on lap number 35 as we get ready to go back green flag racing on what will be lap number 39.
If I can just get a break from coughing up my lung here, as Mark Cofield, he's one of those guys that we've been looking to possibly get one of those natural wins as an AM driver. So I look for him to kind of push the envelope a little bit here, maybe try to get to that clean air, get enough cautions to where we get to a cycle that he can be the freshest out there and kind of go from there.
Cofield getting ready to take the green flag. We've got to watch him. Now, he's going to be on those older tires, but they do have some heat in them, so maybe that works to his advantage, maybe not, as it's going to be Cofield, Colbert, Morse, Whitley, Ellingson, Goshen, Baker, Wallace, Cunningham, and Bieber. That's your top 10. The green flag flies, and we're back under. Whoa!
Big time spin from everybody. Looks like Libke
We stay
in the
green.
back went sideways.
We stay green, good God. Let's watch the replay here of when the green flag flew, because something tells me nobody's happy about it. Going to be back here in and around the 91. The blimp cam just over top of the raceway. The 99 didn't get going. The 808 gives him a nudge.
Yeah, it looked like Jake Ellingson turned into, did a Ty Gibbs impression from the Bowman Gray race where he went airborne there.
Cofield managing to hold on to the lead for the time being, as we're in our regular season finale right here at USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Of course, we also want to thank our fine sponsors. And, of course, now my cursor goes missing. It's just a night of interesting stuff here. I want to thank Glove Station. And here at Glove Station, we are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. Stepping out of line is the 27. He gets back into line. We stay green. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, we've got you covered. With the endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. That's Glove Station. You can go check them out at glovestation.com. I know I personally have been exploring what they have over there. Of course, we also want to thank our friends at InVets, founded by veterans for veterans, and they aid in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work, and they, of course, are our sponsor for the Truck Series, which you had yesterday, whoa, easy there, big fella. There's the 97 stepping out of line. He's going to drift back and opened the door for Mark Whitley to get back up to the lead, along with Chris Morse Jr. in the 81. But they are duking it out back here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just trying to find any way that they can to get up towards the front, especially with the caution laps we've been running. You know, being at the front track position, it's going to be a big key.
Yeah, everybody's going to be out there looking for real estate on the racetrack. As we keep it pushing here on lap number 48.
Just see a little bit of a hornet's nest there. Peter stuck there, not really able to advance forward, just kind of behind the 87 and the 97 there.
Want to tip our helmet to Above the Yellow Line. In 2021, Above the Yellow Line with Taylor Kitchen began as a podcast fueled by a passion for motorsports and a desire to build community. What started as a simple idea has grown into something far beyond what she could have imagined. Through this journey, Taylor and her team have not only connected with passionate motorsports fans, but have also formed connections with several inspiring content creators united by their love of the sport. That passion and collaboration led to the creation of ATYL Media, a dynamic team of motorsports content creators dedicated to producing motorsports content that's fresh, informative, and fun. At ATYL Media, we cover everything you love about motorsports, from F1 and IndyCar to NASCAR, short tracks, and even virtual racing right here. We celebrate the sport's rich history, explore its exciting future, and enjoy every moment in between. This is Motorsports Media, your way. As we stay green flag racing here on lap number 52, I have to say, you know, everybody that we've come in contact with thanks to Goat Locker Racing has been incredible, including, you know, Taylor Kitchen, of course, who got this off the ground for us, and we appreciate that very much. As we also want to tip our cap to Save 22. They're a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. We support those who have served our nation and communities by listening to their stories and providing unwavering support, ensuring that they are never alone or forgotten. Mark Whitley leads the way here as there's a tight little knot of cars behind him. Brett Bieber anchoring that next pack. It's a little bit of a little 5-piece and some scrimp here.
5-piece and some scrimp. That's a new
Yep.
one.
Trust me, it's there. Timothy Wilmus back here in the 86, up 2 after qualifying in 17th position. Our big mover of the race right now drives the 808. That's Brett Bieber. We heard from him a little while ago out of Ole, Pennsylvania. He's currently chasing down Eddie Smith. And one of the things that I've learned, especially from the Bieber boys, as Daniel Cunningham goes side by side, watch the 91. Aye! They get the 51 out of the way. One of the things that I've noticed about the Bieber boys is that they are lurkers as we go under our 6th caution of the evening. James Goshen registering as having crashed. Noah Hogard was off track. Let's watch the 70 here, just in front of the 90. Ooh. That right rear just came all the way out and around.
And that's just the struggle we've been seeing tonight, and you know, trying to you know, you just got to try to find that comfort spot, and it's a hard, tricky, slippery slope.
A slippery slope indeed. When we come back, we'll see more racing action from here at USA International, just outside of Lakeland, Florida. You're watching the Glove Station ARCA series on Goat Locker Racing. We will be right back after this.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you. day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Welcome back to USA International Raceway, where Chris Morris Jr. and Daniel Cunningham lead the way here in the Goat Locker ARCA Series, brought to you by Glove Station. You're watching Sim Racing Media, Dave Regal, and of course Jordan Brockel with you here in the broadcast booth. We appreciate you all tuning in with us tonight, as we're watching, at least for my money, some of the best racing on the iRacing.com servers. Of course, we apologize for the paint schemes not being what they should be, but that's, for lack of a better term, that's not us.
That's holding my hands up going, I didn't do it.
Any other time, they'd look at the two kids in the back of the bus and say, what did you do?
I mean, it certainly would have been me and you in the back of the bus.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Behind the wheel well, bouncing over every turn. Robert Kubat here gives away 13th position to Timothy Wilmus. Alan Smith running in 5th position right now. He's up 11, while Chuck Pegleg Feltz runs in 3rd. He's our biggest mover of the night. Watch the 75 as he's got that Ford Mustang cranked up to crazy and hurls it down into turn number 3 just underneath the 74 of Mark Whitley.
Whitley really trying to make it work on the outside line here. Normally you don't see that at a short track, running a higher line and making passes, but Whitley is absolutely throwing it in there right now.
Well, the car is going to tighten up on that high side. You know, if you run the low side, you can loosen the car up, especially when you back off the throttle coming in here. But, you know, at a place like this where you don't want the rear end stepping out from you, maybe that's just a better line to run. But we can see that, well, maybe Whitley's not having such a good night trying it, as he runs the 74 now into 3rd position. The 75 of Feltz now giving up another position. So maybe to your point, it's hard to pass there on the high line.
Yeah, and I mean, also, you know, Feltz was last down lap 35. These guys that are going by him now came down about 10 laps ago, so they do have fresher stuff underneath their race cars. But, you know, it still makes it, I mean, you saw how long it took Whitley to get it up through the outside. He had to kind of work a couple laps, so the outside not necessarily working to a ton of a benefit. But, you know, when these guys to go to a place like Iowa, you know, we're going to see a lot of those guys migrate to that top line that, you know, same as like a IRP. IRP, we see a lot of guys running that higher line there as well.
Well, you know, and to some degree, I mean, everybody's trying, wow, this is going to be a mess. Watch the 97, the middle of a 3-wide sandwich, and he's the meat. Squeezes his way out like mustard and slides back to the bottom here with the 99 of Brandon Wallace running in 10th position now. Chuck Phelps is your top running AM driver, just ahead of Alan Smith. But, you know, these drivers have to figure out these new ARCA cars, and to be fair, they did the update in the middle of our season here, and it's not really on the drivers per se. Whoa! Easy there, big fella.
It looked like Jeremiah Holtz, I believe, or Jeremiah Holt, not Holtz. I was looking at the name Phelps, and my brain said Holtz.
It's fine. We understand. You're special.
Reading
just
is
the
not
way
my
you are.
reading is not my strong suit.
What is your strong suit? Reading's not. Math isn't. I mean, is it science?
Being annoying, being loud, being obnoxious.
To be fair, that's how I didn't lose you in Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. So I've just been trained to kind of survive.
Look, we promised your mom that we wouldn't let anything bad happen to you.
Nothing bad happened.
But we came as close as we could have.
Yeah, I mean, when I started chasing the chickens, I'm surprised y'all didn't like tackle me to the ground and tie me up and throw me back in the van.
You weren't even in the Keys with us. That's where the chickens were running all over the place. Good Lord.
No, but you're in a Walmart parking lot and you see chickens and a rooster. I'm gonna chase it.
He was a big rooster.
It was a big rooster.
Insert substitute name for rooster.
Oh, here we go.
That's why I'm a big fan of the Chanticleers down there at Coastal Carolina. Devin Smith holding just ahead of the 86 of Timothy Wilmus. Chris Morse now, he may have a battle on his hands if Mark Whitley can get back up there. Whitley trying to close the gap. Morse, he qualified in 8th. He runs in the lead right now, and he's watching that lead slowly evaporate as Mark Whitley is lurking.
Yeah, and Whitley's just biding his time, saving his stuff. I would assume, again, he has fresher stuff, so if he wanted to just floor it and get up there and get by him, I don't think he'd have much of a difficulty, but then you end up burning up your stuff with still a good bit of time to go, so.
I want to thank our friends over at Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses, and they, of course, are the title sponsor of the Spring Series, and they are a very large partner of GLR, and we appreciate them helping us get on the air every week, and, of course, all of the work that Goat Locker Racing does. We talk about them so much, and sometimes I feel like we don't do it. Whoa! Big bobble. Big bobble. You can head on over to goatlockerracing.org/donate, and as a contributor to Goat Locker Racing, they can make sure that your donation goes directly to supporting our cause of helping military veterans and first responders. We thank you for your generosity. And, of course, Goat Locker helps veterans and first responders get into some racing rigs. Of course, they give out full rigs several times a year. And, I got to say, when I first heard the idea of Goat Locker Racing, I thought this is something that we want to be a part of. As a bobble from the 808 of Brett Bieber allows the 77 of Ryzen Baker to close in just a little bit tighter. The 51 now of Josh Unger, a lap down, still trying to get it back the old-fashioned way. Right now, he would be the lucky dog.
Josh Unger is going to be the lucky dog here, as long as it wasn't him that was involved.
Doesn't look like it. He's still on all fours. So Josh Unger going to get that lap back as we go under caution number 7. William Gregory registering as having wrecked. Let's see what happened with Gregory. Watch the 71 here, getting a run just behind the 73 of Jeremiah Holt. That was strange. Didn't even look like it tried to step out on him.
It will look like one of those, those slow motion turns where you're turning and you're just trying to like decelerate and try to hang on, and it just continues to slide. And I think of like the Cleveland meme from Family Guy where he's like, no, 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 no. That's what I think of every time I see a spin like that. Is you're going to spin and you're doing everything possible, but it's just inevitable there.
That was my entire racing career back in the day.
Oh, 110%. I mean, I haven't been in a car in forever, and I'm supposed to run these cars on Wednesday night, and I'm terrified.
Yeah, I used to think that I'd be okay in an ARCA car. In fact, that's where my last win came from. It was actually ARCA at Fontana.
I could not tell you my last win. The last win that comes to my brain was probably 2019, and it was a Daytona 500 NIS.
Yeah, no, not me.
Yeah,
the Cup cars were elusive to me. The B cars there in the Xfinity series, that was the only place that I ever wound up in the playoffs back in 2022.
Me and the Xfinity car aren't on speaking terms.
Oh, no, I loved it. It was so much fun.
We don't speak.
Right,
we don't talk anymore like we used to. Sorry.
This rabbit hole brought to you by the fine folks at Mental Health Medicine.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I did just take my cough medicine, and why is cough medicine so gross? Like, why haven't they figured out to make adult medicine just as strong, but taste not disgusting?
It's the only thing. Look, if you take Dayquil or NyQuil, if you take NyQuil, especially the red or the green, the only way that you can describe its flavor as red or green.
Yeah.
If you went to the paint store and bought green, that's what it would taste like.
You've got to try. My sister, she has the Vapo Cool, so it's Vicks Vapor Rub Dayquil, and it's like a teal color. I took a swig of it because who measures? Let's be honest here. Who measures?
No, throw that little plastic cup away and take a drink like a real man.
Brother, I felt like I had just seen Jesus, and he said, "Huh, that's some good stuff."
No, I'm with you. In fact, I know somebody who their family, I'm going to call it like a family secret or their home remedy, if you will, is consuming Vapo Rub.
Consuming Vapo Rub?
You betcha. By the way, the first thing it says is do not take internally.
Do not take internally at all whatsoever.
Caution number 8 with 13 laps to go. And this may have affected Brett Bieber in the 808. 808, yeah. Obviously, you can tell that I was at Philly Spring Training Games. Oh, the 24 gets loose. The 808 comes around. No damage. He's just got to, okay, sit still, hold the brake. Okay, and then we get pointed back normal. Every time Bryson Stott went to bat, we had to hear, I know I'll be A-O, A-O, A-O.
A-O, A-O, A-O. Okay.
You know what? There's something special. I mean, of course, there's walk-up music in all of baseball. And there's something special about a player whose walk-up song gets the entire stadium rocking.
Well, and then you remember the time that he came up to bat, everyone's singing it, and then he hits a grand slam. Like,
yeah.
That how can you not be emotional about baseball?
Look, I'm just saying, for all of you out there that don't know me well enough, this is my favorite time of year. We've got NASCAR and we've got baseball. The other sports, it's fine. But I even heard the words yesterday that just made my heart grow 3 sizes larger. That's enough of football. It's baseball season now. That was after having to listen to that chant that I don't even want to hear from you. Just understand that I heard a chant at Bay Care Ballpark from a bunch of people wearing red jerseys, and
you're welcome. I signed and delivered right to your front door.
Yeah, it felt. Never mind. I'm going to let it go before I go on a rant. and upset at least most of the Philadelphia fans tuning in right now.
Mark Whitley, 10 laps to go here.
I want you to look at the YouTube.com live chat. And I heard you say this.
I realize it. I was trying to skip over it. I see it now.
Nope.
I recalled it.
Mike McCarthy is keeping you honest, sir.
He is keeping me honest. I hate it. Oh, man. Well, you get that sometimes.
You do. 10 laps to go here. It's going to be Whitley, Smith, Colbert, Smith, Felt, Cofield, Morse, Baker, Wallace, Cunningham. Your highest running AM driver is going to be Alan Smith here in the 7. And with the right kind of restart, he could wind up on the regular podium instead of the AM podium.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Whitley here, he's, on some pretty older stuff than the last restart. So he's going to have to watch for tire spin. And, if that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Alan Smith really push the envelope, try to go to the outside of the 87 of Eddie Smith there, and try to run this thing out and try to get to the other side.
The iRacing.com pace car peels off pit road. And off we go with 8 left. Whitley comes down the backstretch. They go single file up here through the lead until you get back somewhere in and about where we're going to wind up seeing our next wreck. I'm unfortunately sure this is nothing but a mess. Side by side for 3 rows. Whoa, there it is. Oh. Can't park there.
You can't park there. Looks like there's some more stuff that happened even further. I see a ton of names popping up here.
Let's see if we can get this there. Right here from the 51, that's Josh Unger. I called it like I saws it.
I seen it. I just know where to go.
No.
And I believe all the others, other than... Oh, nope, there it is. Ellingson sideways.
I realized that I just said the word no like Ken Jennings from Jeopardy. He goes, no.
No.
I used to get so upset with Alex Trebek. Let's watch this again. The 95 tags the 75, and that just sets everything off. I used to get so upset with Alex Trebek when he acted like everybody should have known the response on Jeopardy. The only difference between Alex Trebek and Ken Jennings is that Ken Jennings probably did know the correct response. 5 laps to go here. This may trigger a natural green-white checker. We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, and it's going to be I think it's going to be elbows out time. I don't think anyone's going to be nice in the slightest regard here. I mean, everybody races clean and side by side, they're relatively giving enough space, but when you come down to these last few laps, the lead is right there within your grasps. It just kind of takes over that primal instinct that you want to get to it and take the lead and run with it.
It was a very Canadian statement of you, elbows up.
Eh?
Eh? I didn't know you spoke Canadian there, eh?
Eh? I'm sorry, eh? And that's my Canadian demonstration for you.
For those of you that are not aware, or maybe not hockey fans, but basically it means stand up for yourself, protect yourself, and fight back. Gordie Howe was big for that. They called him Mr. Elbows. There's your useless hockey fact of the evening. It's not going to be a green-white... Yes, it is. It will be a natural green-white checker. So what that means, folks, is that, well, technically we aren't under NASCAR overtime rules yet. But basically we're going to take the green flag. We're going to race around back to the white flag. Correct. We're going to race around back to the white flag. If the caution flag comes out between the waving of the green flag and the white flag, that means we will rack them, stack them, and do it all over again. However, once the white flag flies, the next flag will end the race, whether that flag is yellow or checkered or a combination in thereof, depending on what it looks like aesthetically.
You know, I just noticed the pace lights came back on the pace car, so I wonder if they extended the caution and put it under a green-white checkered.
Could be.
Yeah, because I just watched the laps bump. The laps bumped back up to 3, so they're going to put it under a regular green flag or a green-white checkered there. So this will count as an attempt.
I really wasn't ready to explain elbows up.
Yeah, just
I also
checking
really
in.
was. I mean, I guess I went on such a baseball rant there that I got a little too excited. The iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road. Whitley and Smith are going to have control of the top of the field. That's where they qualified. And off we go with 2 left. Alan Smith drops down to 4th position. That gives away 5th to Mark Cofield. Now Smith is going to have to hold on to 4th position. Can he do it?
Cofield's sliding.
We come out. White flag in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Jeremiah Holt registering as having crashed, but Mark Whitley does it again here. If he can hold off Eddie Smith, and it looks like he will, it's going to be Whitley, Smith, and Colbert out of turn number 4. The flash bulbs go crazy on the cameras, and Mark Whitley brings home the checkered flag. Eddie Smith and Jonah Colbert will follow him. Alan Smith going to be our AM winner of the evening, and he'll be followed on the AM podium by none other than Gavin Schilling and Chuck Pegleg Feltz.
Mark Whitley getting it done again and getting a little bit of a bump there by Eddie Smith.
Let's see if we can get a little bit of perspective here as the 74 goes to burn it down on the start-finish line. Here they come. Let's watch the 73 down into turn 3. Just gets a run, has to check up, and it's just too late.
Oh.
Story of the night, though, Mark Whitley wins from the Jam Printing and Promotions pole position as he's going to bring it to a rest peacefully here at the start-finish line.
Yeah, and I mean, continues his tear here that he's been on back-to-back ARCA wins, back-to-back truck wins. You know, last night, 4 consecutive wins of races that I've called with him. And I mean, he keeps saying, you know, what a way to introduce himself to a league and win 4 consecutive races across our platform here.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, you know, the unfortunate thing is that Whitley didn't come in time to qualify for the playoffs. So unfortunately, a lot of these are going to be for naught as we get a hold of Mark Whitley now. Hey, Mark, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Buddy, listen, a great win tonight from the pole position again, back-to-back Pocono and now USA International. I mean, how do you feel and how does all of this translate for you?
It feels really good. Tonight I had to work a lot harder. Pocono, like I said, was just a drafting track, kind of just trying to stay in line. This was a wheelman's track. I know this is probably first time I've driven this thing in a race on a short track, and it definitely can spin the tires on you. I know practice there it was really loose off 4 if you weren't careful, so I had to figure out a good line to get a straight exit, and I think it was me and Chris. I took tires, he stayed out, and I ran him down, but I got to him, and we were kind of like evened off, and I could get in the corner a little bit harder than he could, but he seemed to be rolling the center pretty good, and I kind of figured he would pit there with when it was 15, 20 to go, whatever it was, and I thought about coming down, but I figured, we're getting toward the end of these races, usually they get to be caution fest, and that's kind of what I was hoping for, and that's what I got, so kind of glad that, we got a couple of those cautions there, and we just had to run the wheels off of it for a few laps to get back to the checkered.
Yeah, it's been an interesting night. Once again, of course, being able to win from the pole, especially you got kind of buried in traffic. What was it like trying to cut up through traffic and get up here, back into the lead?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult because everybody ran that bottom down there, and if sometimes you could roll into in the middle, you could roll into the corner really hot and kind of get a run on them. But then like it was like there wasn't as much grip in the middle lane, so you had to really get it woed up to get it turned. And it's kind of opposite. Usually the high line gets a better drive off, but it was almost like the bottom was getting a better drive off, and it was just about trying to be meticulous. I didn't want to hit anybody. I didn't want to move anybody. I was just trying to be as respectful as I could. I know. I didn't want to make any enemies. I'm new, so I'm not trying to make any new enemies. So I was just picking my spots, trying to, when I had a run, try to take it. And everybody ran me hard, but I felt like they ran me clean and fair. So it was just, picking them off. You have to be really patient with it and try to not burn the tires off of it.
Yeah, and you absolutely did that tonight. Of course, bringing it home to Wilmington for Harpoon Designs and Angry Duck Graphics. Before we cut you loose tonight, who do you need to thank and who do you need to tip your helmet to?
Yeah, like I said, huge shout out to Harpoon Design, Brantley. I'm not sure if it showed up on the broadcast, but I know he's finally got me this painted up hot rod and custom number, so I'm not sure. Might need to get it all sorted for the broadcast, but he does awesome work. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. I got to thank my teammate's not here, but Joe, he's the one introduced me to this league, so really appreciate him. Let's see here. Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and I feel like I'm missing one more, but again, I'm still learning, so there's yeah, there's another one. I'm sorry, but I'm still new. I'm still learning.
No, man, it's cool. Listen, I totally get it. Well, listen, congratulations, and of course, next week we're going to see you at Iowa. So, listen, enjoy the win, celebrate with the fam and the team, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That the voice of Mark Whitley. And next up, I believe you have him with you on pit road, Eddie Smith.
Eddie Smith, it's Jordan. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man. So, I mean, you've been on a pretty daggone good run here, man. I mean, it's been a while since I think you've been on the podium just about every week for the last like 5-6 weeks, maybe even further. Probably the whole daggone 9 races or 10 races that we ran so far. So, I mean, going into this playoff, I mean, what's that consistent run that you've been having, do for you going into that playoff starting next week?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to win, but finishing second means that you're right there in the range of getting one of those wins. So as long as you keep finishing second, eventually you're going to get in the win column. And I can finish second all the way to the championship race and still win the championship. So I'll probably take it. That's about, it only can get one spot better. I was watching the back bumper of Chris Morris a lot of the first part of the season, and now I'm looking at the back bumper of Whitley. So, yeah. Hey, good finish. Good race tonight, I thought.
Absolutely. And so, we had Pocono last week, a little bit of a drafting track. You have the tunnel turn that kind of is a little bit of a tight, short course kind of turn. But, we saw some people kind of step out, kind of slide around there. And then tonight we saw a lot of people, kind of sliding through corner exit. I mean, I think it was Morris that said that this thing kind of races like a miniature Gen 7. I mean, can you attest to that at all? Or, what's your thoughts on this car now that we've had, both a larger track and a smaller track under your belt?
Yeah, it's definitely a Gen 6, like 550 horsepower type of car. And yeah, I mean, it mainly tonight it was pretty stable. The only time it really got out of shape was when you're really trying to push the entries and exits. You drive in too deep, a little bit brake bias, turn down a little bit, and it would get a little bit loose. And then on exit, you're just trying to make a pass on somebody and just don't have enough power to really gain. Those corners are really wide, so passing almost impossible tonight without a little bit of charity for some really nice fellas. So it took a lot of work from everybody to try to keep it clean, at least where I was racing. Yeah, the car's fine. And tonight was a good look for it, I think. I'm hoping that that'll continue. But like I said, I feel like it's pretty much the Gen 6 550 that we had that one time.
Gotcha. And, once again, congrats on the P2 there, brother. And before Cut you loose. Is there anybody you want to shout out and thank for tonight's performance, man?
Yeah, definitely want to thank Jan Printing Promotions. Those guys are incredible. I've got some T-shirts and hats from them that are just the highest of quality. They do such good work, and we couldn't do it without them. I want to thank Glove Station for their sponsorship of this series. Of course, I want to thank y'all for broadcasting the race and Alexander PCs. Want to thank Pat and Jamie. Also want to thank my family for watching. I got my grandmother watching, so hey, Granny. Glad to have y'all out there watching. It means a lot. And congratulations to my dad who won the amateur division winning tonight. So man, can't be more excited for him. I think that's his second win on the season. So he has been really killing it here lately.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for your time, brother, and we look forward to you throughout this playoff, man.
See ya.
And on the third step of the podium tonight, going to be Jonah Colbert, driver of the number 31 out of Oklahoma City. Hey, Jonah, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, not much, man. I mean, listen, you finished third tonight. You climb up out of 12th position to finish on the podium. I mean, traffic was more hectic than rush hour on a Friday afternoon headed to the Jersey Shore. What did you have going on there, and how do you find yourself on the podium?
Oh, man. It was a little bit of bad luck and then a little bit of good luck, so kind of just a mix. And then I offset my pit strategy a little bit with everybody else because I got in that early incident and got sent all the way to the back. So I figured I'd pit a little bit early, take tires, and then when everybody came down for their tires, I just came in and got fuel, and that kind of flipped the script for me, and I got up to there in the top 5, and then from there I was able to get a caution or two to fall my way to get my tires cycled back on with everybody else, and it worked out. And then it was just really hard to pass, unless you had fresher tires or something, but so I was able to hold on.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like as long as you've got just enough to hold on, that's all it takes. And in this league, I mean, when you're saying that you're holding on for dear life with your fingernails into the dashboard. I mean, these guys are so good and so competitive, between the pro and the M divisions. I mean, to me, I think it's just incredible to watch you guys week in and week out. I mean, I don't know what you're going to see next week at Iowa. All I know is that it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, Iowa should be a fun track. It gives you a little bit more multi-groove racing. It can be difficult to complete a pass, but you can definitely get up side by side and race people there. That second lane's real fun. It's real bumpy, so you see people getting out of shape and taking advantage of that. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but overall pretty good race. Had some incidents early on. Once people kind of calmed down and figured the car out, I think we had some good racing throughout the field.
All right, my man. Well, listen, before we cut you loose tonight, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done tonight on the 31 team?
iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, Sim Motion, Glove Station, Sim Racing Media for doing these broadcasts. You always do a wonderful job. Trading Paints, hopefully they get their stuff figured out because we're all running stock schemes tonight. But Bandit Motorsports and JC Race Graphics.
All right, my friend, listen, congratulations on the podium finish. We'll see you next week as we head to the playoffs in Iowa.
Thanks.
And last but certainly not least, our AM winner should be with you now. Alan Smith, I think you've got Jordan Brackel.
Alan Smith, it's Jordan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Jordan, what's happening, amigo?
Hey, man, it's been quite a while since we got to talk to you. Second time in the win column. You got the win at, Homestead. You come back here, get the AM win here in USA just before going into playoffs. How does that, shift your thinking going into the playoffs now?
Well, it's pretty awesome because the first one was kind of a fuel saving there at Homestead. And so this one here, I just bought my time, practiced a little, spent a little more time on the wheel. And so this one feels a little bit better. More excited about going into the playoffs with these guys. They're just awesome. I just love racing with these guys.
Yeah, and certainly, we saw going into one of those last corners, Cofield tried to give you a bump. You held on to it. And, you're coming out of that corner and you see him sideways. I mean, certainly that unfortunate for him, but, you see that, you get yourself kind of solidified there in that AM spot.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah. Yeah, he
go
came
ahead.
in pretty hot, and I knew he and I are good friends. We get along real well, and he come and give me a little bump. I got sideways, able to collect it up, but we're on good path. But we had a great time. It was a great race tonight, and I really appreciate those guys racing clean around me.
Well, we certainly love getting you up here and talking to you again. Before we send you on your way, brother, is there anybody you want to shout out and thank for getting that AM win tonight?
Absolutely. So first of all, I always have to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, for the eternal life He gave me, for my family, my mama who's watching, and she gets to watch Eddie and I race on these races, and Eddie, my son, for supporting me here, but also Glove Station, who is our sponsor there, Lincoln Tech, Save 22. And the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and especially you guys for bringing these broadcasts so that my mama can watch this. It's pretty cool.
Well, we certainly think it's pretty cool to watch you guys run, and you put on a wonderful show, and we appreciate your time up here tonight, brother.
All right. Thanks a lot.
As always, we thank our AM winner, Alan Smith, driver of the 7 machine. And Jordan, just like that, the regular season's wrapping up. We're waiting to see those results come through for points. Next week, we get to find out who's in the playoffs here in the ARCA series.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to continue to ramp up too. You know, these guys run so strong each and every week, and you know now the title is officially on the line. You know, no holds barred kind of situation. You want to be able to get to that championship round and fight for this championship. And, you know, we see a lot of heavy hitters and, you know, some of these guys towards the bottom of that playoffs, you know, it's going to be one of those things that we wonder, you know, who's going to step up, show out, and, you know, kind of put a fight to these guys that we've been seeing up front, like Eddie Smith and Chris Morris, you know, and see how they do for that championship.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so much is going to be decided with points over the next couple of, you know, hours here as they get everything tallied up for the regular season. And we'll get to see, you know, for some of these drivers, is it an encouragement for next season, make sure they can race the full season and qualify. And, of course, then there's the other ones that say, hey, listen, I put all this work in, now what do I do next? And how do I make that jump from the AM division into the pro division, or what comes next? I think that this thing is designed perfectly from top to bottom. But before we get out of here tonight, we want to take one final look at our results right here on Sim Racing Media. Mark Whitley brings home the checkered flag. He's followed on the pro podium by Eddie Smith and Jonah Culver. Chris Morse finishes in 4th, and in the top 5 is our AM winner, Alan Smith. Daniel Cunningham finishes in 6th with Timothy Wilmus and Brett Bieber in 7th and 8th, while Gavin Schilling and Chuck Pegleg Feltz round out your top 10. 11th goes to Devin Smith with Brandon Wallace in 12th, Mark Cofield and Dakota Cole in 13th and 14th, while James Goshen, Jake Ellingson, Jeremiah Holt, Josh Unger, there we go, Casey Jones and Noah Hogard round out your top 20. John Huchin finishes in 21st with Delsa Aviles, in 22nd with Robert Kubat, Ryzen Baker, Jamie Libke, William Gregory, Cliff Adams, and Doug Macedo making up the rest of your field. Unfortunately, finishing dead last night is Daniel Craigkeel after starting with an EOL. Comes home in 29th, and unfortunately, somebody had to do it, and this week it happened to be Dan. And quite frankly, I do want to make sure we tip our helmet to Dan Craigkeel, of course, series director here in the ARCA series. I mean, these people have their act together. Folks, if you're a veteran or a first responder and you're looking for a group of guys to call your family, this is the one. And start with Dan Craigkeel here and reach out to him on the iRacing.com servers. And for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner extraordinaire, Mr. Jordan Brockell, we want to thank you for making us a part of your evening here on Sim Racing Media, as you were just watching the Glove Station ARCA series brought to you by Goat Locker Racing here on SRM. Thank you, and tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.